Hello and good day, ladies and gents. Momonocle here, welcoming you to the classic, the legendary Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. As you can see, I have played this game before. This is a game from my childhood. I've 100% completed it. There's two modes. There's one as Kirby, and then once you finish the game 100%, you get to play as Meta Nightmare, and you save Dreamland as Meta Knight. So that's pretty cool. There's boss endurance. You can play Kirby's Air Grind. There's some mini games here. If you never watched this stream, then you wouldn't know the story behind my obsession with this game and Kirby in general as a kid. There are a few things that captured my every waking thought. To name a few: Metabots, Tales of Symphonia, Final Fantasy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not even Pokemon or Digimon got to claim this prestigious spot in my childlike mind. But the holy grail, the pink puff that would never leave my consciousness, was Kirby. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure why, but at one point I caught a glimpse on the internet of Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, just still images on Google, and that was it. I had my mother draw a picture of Kirby for me, which was honestly really awesome, and I wish I had it to show you guys. I don't know where it is right now, unfortunately. I also had my parents, and they'll have to forgive me because I used so much color ink as a kid. Oh my god, that shit is not inexpensive. And my dad would allow me to print off pictures off of Google or wherever I was getting them and put them into a duotang binder. I would print off images of Kirby in all his different forms. I'm talking Fire Kirby, Ice Kirby. Ice Kirby was one of my favorites, by the way. Spike Kirby, everything. And I would cut them out, put glue on the back, and slap them into a duotang binder, using more paper, I might add. But you might be asking yourself, how in the world did you quell this obsession? These days, when I have a bout of obsession, I have the game that I'm obsessed with. I have experienced it, and it does take up my mind for maybe a week or two. I was uncontrollably thinking of Kirby every day for months on end. This is not normal. I've had times where I've been totally enthralled with the Teenage Mutant Ninja timeline, or the X-Men timeline, or if literally anything else going into the background of lore, and it usually takes me a week to be satisfied. I look into a bunch of stuff, watch a bunch of videos, my mind is like, alright, that's enough information for me. No, my mind would not stop unless I got my hands on Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. And, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have our adventure begin. One day, I ask Dad and Mom, are we close to Superstore? Superstore is a Canadian grocery store, big, and back in the day, they had an electronics department, and they said, oh, we're in the area, we can go take a look. What are you looking for? Oh, I want to see if they have Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. I have some birthday money. I want to see if they have Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. So we go. We walk over to the electronics section, and nada. Busted. There's nothing there. And I knew that it should be at the Superstore, because online it says you can get it at Canadian Superstores. It was not there. Also, at this time, I was not smart enough, nor did I have the know-how, that there were second-hand game stores around, and we could have just gone there, and they would probably have it. But no. Superstore, it was going to be at Superstore. I don't know why I thought that. Probably read it online somewhere, but this is the game. This is the holy grail. I need it, and it's going to be at Superstore. We go over to toy section. I think I picked out some Mega Man toys instead, and we come back. Another day. No Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. A year passes. Still, every time we visit, no Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. I'm not going to draw out this story. Eventually, we go to Superstore, and I walk around, and I'm not thinking I'm going to find anything, by the way. Not a chance in hell. We've been trying for a year. No Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. Young Momo walks down the aisle, and then there's a pink blur. Wait, what was that? And on the shelf, an angel choir sings. Oh! There is, in a plastic box, for security, because obviously this game is worth so much, there is Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. Now, when I tell you guys I was excited, This is probably one of the biggest moments of my life when I got my hands on a game. I was losing my shit when we were on the way home. I think I had to wait to play the game. We were going to my grandma's house. We'd always hit up Superstore on the way to my grandma's house. Same area, same area. So whenever we were going to Superstore is when we're gonna go visit grandma. This game, still, I was sitting there with it in my hands. I didn't even open it. And I did my visit with my grandma because obviously you take the time. I have my Game Boy Advance at home. So, visit with grandma. Be very patient. I was a patient boy. You know, I had waited a year for this game. Of course. Gotta be patient. When we pulled into that driveway, I think I was the first person inside. Sometimes we don't lock our doors in Canada. Back in the day, we didn't. So I could burst through the door. Ran upstairs. All fours. Actually, probably not all fours. I had the box in my hand. But it would have been all fours. There's 2 flights of stairs. So I could crawl like a monkey up the stairs. And then I get to my Game Boy. And I did not have an SP. I had like the normal Game Boy. And it's nighttime at this point. Like, it's dark out. So, because I think I got this sometime in the fall. And fall in Canada, yes, the sun is up until like about 7 p.m. But we got home at about 8 and my bedtime was probably like 9 or 10. So it was still pretty dark out. And as you guys know, the older Game Boy Advances don't have a backlit screen. So in order to enjoy all of the Kirby goodness, I needed one of those third-party light attachments. Now, if you don't know about Game Boy Advance or Game Boy third-party attachments, they're not the greatest. There should be a picture up on screen of the one I had. It was like this squiggly wire and this little light bulb that would let you play. I did not let that stop me at all. I played throughout the night. I got into every nook and cranny of that game. It took me a long time before I found out all the secrets, and even longer into being a teenager before I got to get 100% in the game and both 100% in the Meta Knight Extra game, which I never knew existed. Kirby Nightmare In Dreamland is a remake of Kirby's Adventure. There was also these different features that were awesome to play with your friends. If you had 3 link cables, if you were lucky enough to have 3 link cables, most people only had 1, you could play these different mini games. You had the frying pan mini game, you had the quick draw mini game, you also had Kirby's Air Grind. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. I might have to look at the footage, but I'm pretty sure it's called Kirby's Air Grind, and those games were awesome. I often only got the chance to play with one other person because, like I said, if you were lucky, you had those link cables. Often the kids who had Pokemon had those link cables. I don't think there's any other Game Boy Advance game that I was so obsessed with getting. Nothing really compared to when I received Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. And what do you know? The obsession dwindled away. I think what really got my brain freaking high on Kirby was the sprite work in this game. And it doesn't take too long to get through, obviously. I knew everything when I was streaming it. It took me about 4 hours to get through-ish, and also talking to people and taking breaks. I'm so thankful that I had the money back then, the $45 Canadian, to get that game. Back then, games cost like a little bit less, I think. I don't know if it translates to now with like inflation and all that boring economic mumbo jumbo. One of the best $45 Canadian I've ever spent. And then I went on with the rest of my life, becoming obsessed with new things. I think the game that was next on my docket was Tales of Symphonia. I need to get that game. I rented it probably upwards of 12 times. But that's a story for another day. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland will always be one of my favorites. It's up there. It's not in the top 10, but it's up there. And it holds a special place in my heart. Mostly because of this story. I mean, if I can find that Duotang binder, oh man, I'd love to show you guys. Maybe on another stream. Speaking of streams, you guys should come by Twitch TV/Momonocle. That's where this stream happened, that this video was made with. All the footage was from the stream. I would love to see you guys there. I know I'm not releasing a lot of content here, but I'm trying my best. And I like this kind of new format that I'm trying, where either I'll tell a story, I'll tell my thoughts about something, or I'll do just a general review. I think Kirby deserves a little bit of a general review. So here are my thoughts. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland has amazing sprite work. It has a very fun flow through the game. There's not a lot that will stop you from going forward with the story. You start off with some slides at the beginning of the game that kind of tell you that everybody's having trouble in Dreamland, like normal. You know, that's every day in Dreamland for Kirby. And DDD is behind it. Oh, the dastardly King DDD. But actually, it is the Nightmare that is the problem. And it's also thought to be that Meta Knight is one of your enemies, but he's not either. That's generally the plot of a Kirby game. Bad guy, not bad guy. This is better, bigger bad guy. I give Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland 10 out of 10 because I'm biased, and that's my review. There's not much to say about this game, and nostalgia will always get the better of me. So, this is my little love letter to Kirby and Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. So on that note, ladies and gents, I appreciate you joining me for this little story time video. And as always, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.